Huh. Are we live?
I don't know. Are we live? Hello.
Anyone out there? We've got Anthony Ponti.
Okay,
says,
we
Yo.
are back. Gosh, sorry guys.
Yeah.
As usual, things are all over the place.
We're just grateful
here.
this is working at all, actually. We thought we might have to skip a live stream this week, which was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a couple more questions. Let's talk about...
Well, let's just see. Okay, we got Anthony Ponti here.
Yeah, just you and us.
Can you tell Dave that there's a new stream and to send people over there? Okay, so we got Frank Hopland, BH. All right. Who else is in the house? Yeah, let us know if you were able to find us again. Oh, man. Dave is here. Good.
We are
all right.
back. Awesome.
Cool.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, guys, sorry, man. Okay, I'm not going to go into it. It just one of the myriad of technical joys of having live streams in Central America.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Do you want to go on about the cutter versus catch or move on to a new topic?
So anyway, guys, I'll just try to say this as briefly as possible so that I can make my insult to all the catch lovers out there occur as quickly as possible.
Yeah, SV Spirit Libra is like, I love my catch.
Yeah, and so you should, right? Catches have a lot going for them. And so my opinion is simply that if I'm going to have a boat that's optimized for something, I like the idea of, being optimized for upwind performance, as well as having that stay sail so that you can, if the wind picks up, right? If something weird happens, if you get hit by some kind of crazy katabatic wind, coming off a mountain or some squall you didn't think was going to be there, then you can just furl up the Genoa and boom, you've got your stay sail and you're kind of relatively well balanced again. But for those of you who are catch lovers, tell me what I'm missing, because and I'm not ignorant to the value of catches. I think catches have some real advantages as well, but for our purposes, a cutter would be better.
Got a question from Greg Leak a while ago. He was saying, Did you all dream that you would end up as popular as you have become?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Mm-hmm. I guess popularity is an interesting word. I wouldn't want to say I thought we would be popular. Right? But that is integral in it, I guess. Like, I wanted to have people think we made good videos. Mm-hmm. And I wanted it to be, YouTube knew that our videos were good. Our viewers knew our videos were good. And so that was the goal the whole time. Mm-hmm. Whether we knew we'd get to, coming up on 90,000 subs. Yeah. I guess that was a big question mark. Yeah. I
mean, we got to a point when we were deciding between, working on boats to make a living versus doing YouTube for a living, where we just realized we need to put everything into YouTube, give it everything we have, and if we fail, then we tried as hard as we could, and let's get back to boat work. So once people started watching our videos and we started getting more positive feedback, that was, I'd say, it was surprising, but at the same time we were like, good, like hard work does pay off, because we were obsessed with improving and trying to figure out how to get our shots right and how to storytell in a compelling way. So we're hoping we're still doing that also, so you guys let us know.
Yeah, and I feel like that was the real trick. Was pretty early on we were tempted to try to just do things that would get more views, and at some point we both kind of just said we're done doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, we're done even thinking about it for the most part. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to watch the videos and ask ourselves, what would make us want to watch this video more?
Yeah. Something that I liked, Jordan was reading a book about writing, and the author was saying to write a compelling story, one thing that you have to remember is that think about writing your story and having somebody read your story as putting them through physical torture. Yeah. Physical and emotional torture. Yeah. So it has to be so good, and you have to be so convinced that they'll choose your your story over the torture. And so that's been
Yeah, I mean, the point being that act as though as they're reading your story, it is torturing them.
Yeah.
So make it as not tortuous as possible.
Right.
And just assume that it's just raw agony that they're experiencing.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, that is the key to making something good. I do actually think that, because once you start out doing anything, if someone consumes that, like whether you're writing, making videos, anything, I think when you're first starting out, if someone consumes it, it probably is a lot like torture for them to consume it. Our early videos are pretty tortuous to watch.
I can't watch them.
And so I feel like having that attitude helps.
Yeah. And as far as surprise, I would also say sometimes if you were to tell Desiree 10 years ago that 80,000 people would be subscribed to our story, I would think that was completely bizarre and crazy.
Yeah, true enough.
Never thought that would happen.
Yeah. Well, and the other cool thing though that's really great about our situation in most other sailing channels is that we're not obviously well known in our day-to-day life at all, right? Every now and then a sailor, another cruiser will come up and say, "Oh, I watch your videos." We're like, "Oh, cool, thank you." So to us, we're in this world where it doesn't affect us directly, which is actually probably the best of that's by far the best way for it to occur for us, because we get to just be normal cruisers for the most part.
Yeah, we're just in our little bubble.
Yeah. Tim Leary brings up a really good point about having a catch, and he says you can sail jib and jigger. And that's a great point, right? The idea that you could be able to control your mizzen from the cockpit, and then most likely, if you have furlers, control your head sail or head sails from the cockpit. And so just doing everything from the cockpit. And that's a great point. Atticus doesn't sail well jib and jigger just because the mizzen, well, it's already got too much weather helm to begin with, and then the mizzen's pretty small. And so it's sort of just the backwards way that I do things. I normally reef the mizzen first and reef my way forward. But Atticus is a really weird catch, whereas I know our friends from Wavelength that you guys might remember from our Cuba videos, they've got that Pearson 424. That's a catch, and they sail jib and jigger all the time. That is a really cool aspect of catches.
Also, Bruce Benaway was asking, the background music on your vids is superb. It really enhances your weekly broadcast. What is your source for those? And we use Epidemic Sound. We pay a subscription monthly. And then we were thinking about also subscribing to another service that works with actual artists who try to make music for... so Epidemic Sound is kind of more like a marketplace for like kind of mood music, and
although that's changing.
Yeah, it is changing. But anyway, so there we have Epidemic Sound, and we're thinking about also getting, what is the other one called? Artlist.
And there's more. There's new ones happening all the time.
But those are like, Artlist kind of works with bands in particular that are up and coming, so you can get like actually not just background music.
Yeah. So River Oaks Art Society asks, are we considering a catamaran for Atticus 2.0, or are we strictly considering monohulls? And I mean, basically monohulls. Just because for us, we are throughout this entire journey, right? We bought a 30-foot boat so that we could live well within our means. And that was the point. Not to just barely live within our means, but to live well within our means. So we'd actually have the free time to go cruising, even if we had to work along the way. And so that's going to be our philosophy forever. As the channel grows, as our means increase, we want to still always live well within our means. And so for us, that's just never going to mean a catamaran, basically ever. Now, Atticus 2.0 will be a bigger boat than Atticus, for sure. And so...
And that's not to say that, catamarans aren't kind of inherently way more comfortable than monohulls. Like, we recognize that catamarans are amazing, but it's the way that I think of it is somebody asking you, would you rather live in a house or a mansion? And, of course, everyone would rather live in a mansion, but you have to pay for that, the cost of that luxury. And for us, we're both luckily on the same page with that. We like living within our means, and we don't need the extra luxury to feel the sense of adventure.
Well, or we've learned, I think this is it, we've learned the trick, right?
Yeah.
And the trick is that more nice stuff and more nice, like, comfortable life, like, you're never actually going to be happy with it. You're never actually going to be satisfied with it. And so the trick is trying to, like, pull the brakes as hard as you can on lifestyle creep, because lifestyle creep is real, And so if you can just pull the brakes, because it's gonna keep going, you're gonna keep wanting a little bit more and a little more comfort and like, oh man, if we had a little bit of a bigger boat, we could actually have a generator, we could actually have room for this foldy bike, and those things are all cool, but they're not going to make us any happier. And so I think the trick is really having a solid sense of our priorities and really knowing what is it that we truly, truly want.
And it's not for everyone. There's some people who really need to live on a catamaran, but we're just not there. That being said, we went on a race. The Bocas Del Toro had a regatta 2 weekends ago, and we participated with another YouTube channel called Parlay Revival, and he restored a catamaran that was not beautiful, but he restored it, and now it is beautiful. And it was so weird to have so much room on board. They had 2 dogs, and I think they had like 16 people on board, and it was just...
For the sale.
Right. It felt so weird. It felt like we were in a different universe. And so it was cool to experience, but I can't really imagine owning that.
Well, and to be fair, if you guys haven't yet, you should check out this YouTube channel. It's called Parlay Revival. And this guy, Colin, really cool guy, he's in this upcoming week's episode, bought a hurricane-damaged boat. I mean, just real bad condition. Basically, it had sunk. And he just fixed it up, and him and a team of other people. And so his whole dream was to have, multiple people living on the boat. And in fact, at this point, he's got a couple people that are sort of like on the permanent crew, and then he's got a rotating amount of like paying guests. Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, Tula's in the Summers in the house.
Yeah,
Thanks
where
for joining
are you guys
us.
located right now? Good to see you.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get to... Oh, gosh, that'd be so fun to get to run into you guys at some point.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all I wanted to say with that is, with this Parlay Revival and Colin, his whole plan the whole time was to have a lot of people on the boat. And so if that's the situation, then, something like a catamaran makes a lot of sense. Now, of course, we're talking about... Guys, we're totally trashing catamarans as Tula's Endless Summer jumps on board.
Yeah, that is funny.
I feel like if you're going to come up with a good argument against what we've been talking about, it's going to be the way that those guys have done it. They've really done a good job of living a budget lifestyle and doing it on a catamaran. And so did James and Kimmy on Zingaro. So it's definitely doable. But I don't think that anyone would argue that, pound for pound, for what you get, it's going to be a little more expensive for multi-hulls, or significantly more expensive for multi-hulls, which makes it difficult.
And can you scroll up, actually?
Tula's Endless Summer says they're in Antigua. They heard catamaran and boat work, and their ears started ringing.
Nice.
You guys have like a spidey sense. You're just in Antigua. You're like, somebody's talking about fixing catamarans.
My mom's here. Hey, Mom. Yep, we're at Kayan's house. And can we also do some super chat thank yous?
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, Billy and Sierra, thanks a lot for for coming to say hi.
Yeah, and 400 AGL was saying, "What's wrong with the Mavic Air? I'm a commercial drone pilot, also. Very cool."
Oh yeah, sorry. The IMU sensor needs to be calibrated. It says, and then it also says that like there's a. Boy, I'll have to try and get in touch with us after the live stream, because it's also saying that some kind of connection must have come loose.
Oh.
It's giving me like 6 different error messages.
We could definitely use some help though, because we're totally drowning in understanding how to fix that.
Yeah,
so if you can shoot me an email at des@projectatticus, des@projectatticus.com, I would be forever grateful to you. We can walk through it. That'd be amazing. Let's do some super chat.
Okay, but real quick, Billy and Sierra, if you guys are... Oh, it looks like they might have signed off. If you guys are still there, though, tell us tell us in as few words as you can, your whole view on mono-hull versus multi-hull. And love to know what you guys have to say about it.
Blimp Commander says, "Did my $2,000 super chat get lost when the video dropped?" Darn it.
Sorry. Shoot. Okay, so let's do a couple of quick thank yous. So we've got Sailing Segundo. Oh, they subscribe. Okay. Greg Jegner says, "Keep up with the good vids." Thank you very much. Greg Miller, thank you. Jay Homer said, "Glad the Matt Space has made it." Jim Ulmer. Hey, all right. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I got it right here. You're amazing.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. And then Ronnie Lovett, thank you very much. Richard Burguillos, nice. You're living the dream most of us fail to act on. Thanks so much for sharing and taking us along. Your videos are awesome. Love the outtakes. Well, thank you, Richard. David Daly says, "Keep at it. Love watching your journey."
Thanks, David.
SCYZ says,
Scott.
"Hi, I can't wait to see you guys back on the water." Scott Wise. Thanks, Scott. Dan Herlong. We got Emmanuel Gaviero says, "Hello, friends. Big fan here from day one. I'm prepping my newly acquired 1998 McGregor 26, just starting." Very cool.
Good luck.
And then 400 AGL is asking about the drone, but thank you very much, 400 AGL. And then Dan Herlong again.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys. You're so amazing. Just being here and chatting with us, it kind of blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I did want to...
I had a question.
Okay. Brad Scott says, "Hugh, I think we'll either be fighting over or sharing the guest cabin on Atticus 2.0. That's right, guys. Yeah, you guys we'll have a cabin just for you two. Just for Brad and Hugh.
Kristen O'Neill was asking, "If you could do it again, would you leave the USA with only $2,000 and work to make an income, or just work in the USA for longer before you left?" That's a really good question.
It's a really good question. Mm-hmm. I would say for us, because we were planning on working while cruising, and we were dead set on that. That wasn't negotiable at the time. Because the idea was we didn't want to take a sabbatical. We wanted to do this for a long period of time, sustainably. And so, given that parameter, I think that leaving with less money was a good thing, because we were really nervous about working abroad while cruising. Mm-hmm. And so it was sort of like pulling a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
If we had $10,000, $15,000 in the bank and then sailed all the way to New Zealand or something, I feel like we'd just be even more nervous and more nervous over all those months leading up to it. So that's my opinion.
We were at a point where we had met a lot of people who had worked on their boat and given up in Key West. Key West is kind of a place where it's like the end of the road, so a lot of people end up there with a lot of dreams and then not much follow through, unfortunately, sometimes, because it just sucks you in. It's this beautiful place and there's parties and lots to do. So we had just seen a lot of people give up, and we didn't think fixing up Atticus naively would take so long. So we just felt really kind of like we were clawing onto this dream, and if we didn't go, we might just stick around, you know. And it's kind of like Uma, the don't buy a couch thing, you know. If we had to stick around for another year, it would have been tempting for me maybe to get back on yachts again, or, you know, who knows. So I think it was important for us to just try it.
To just go for it. Now, if you aren't in that situation, if you know, don't necessarily want to work while you cruise, if that's not your goal.
Or if you're really smart, if you're like 20 years old and you're like, I want to cruise when I'm, you know, 25, then man, work in the United States, stay in your comfortable job. Like Steve and Sailing SV Someday, you guys are doing it really smartly, buying a little starter boat and then saving up and then going on to your cruising boat. That's a really good way to do it too. What were you going to say?
Well, yeah, and I'm just enjoying Brad Scott and SV Someday's banter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they. I would say that the one thing that we have learned, I think, is that one of the things that we've learned is that if you like your job, and we've said this a couple times before, but if you do enjoy your work, you're probably going to enjoy it a lot more than boat work, you know. And so in a way, the whole saving a little bit more money, if you've got an idea of the size of boat, like the smallest boat that you would be comfortable with, and then you can look at that market and say, all right, in really crappy condition they cost $30,000, in really great condition they cost $80,000, you know. Yeah, maybe you should just save up to $80,000 if you really like your job. Because again, refitting a boat that's real old and in really bad condition can be pretty miserable. And so, but that's separate from the whole having a cruising kitty. Because it is like we both get really jealous when we see cruisers who, you know, come through where we are, and we start chatting with them. And they're like, yeah, we like spent a month in the atolls of Belize. Then we spent a month or 3 months in the Bay Islands, and now we're here, and we're going to sail to French Polynesia in 2 weeks, you know, and they're just on the freaking move, and they're doing it all, you know, and it's because they don't have to work at all. So, you know, but then you're just burning money at that point. So it really kind of depends on your unique situation.
It's kind of a double-edged sword too, because we're really lucky that this is our job, so we can continue to cruise and make a living from our videos. So a lot of people that we do meet who are just burning through their savings, you know, they have to get right back to work when they get back at home, or they've worked 20 years saving up that amount. So we're I think very fortunate that we could be doing it slowly.
Sure, yeah, no, absolutely. So Tula's in the summer just got back to us. They said we see so many people in the Caribbean that are just using cats like motor cats because they don't sail well and or are overloaded. Just like everything on a boat, there's a trade-off. And that's a great point, particularly with all that interior volume that comes with a catamaran. That doesn't necessarily mean they can handle the additional weight that you could put into all that volume. So that's a great point. Yeah, catamarans are particularly sensitive to that sort of thing. But you know what? I mean, I'm sure you guys have, like us, seen a lot of people doing that with monohulls too. You know, I mean, a lot of people motor most of the time on monohulls. So that's something. It's a trap that a lot of people can fall into in general. But
we got a question from Torch and Maka Schmidt. They're asking, speaking of stuff on the boat, do you have a life raft for your Pacific crossing? And we do not.
We do not at the moment. Yeah, we do not. Yeah, and we're looking into it. We'll just put it that way. Yeah, we're definitely looking into the options and like we were saying, I'm trying to get stuff off the boat. I'm not trying to put more stuff on it. And so that's one of those things where, you know, we should probably have the life raft. But anyway, so we're looking into it.
Is Ngaro here? No, that was from before. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they were here earlier.
Oh,
though.
that's cool. Yeah, nice.
But anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at with that. Oh my gosh. Tula's Endless Summer. Are you guys still here? And if so, are you guys going to be at the Annapolis Boat Show this next year? I know, kind of a random question, but I think we're planning on being there again. So that'd be really fun to get to see you
What
guys.
about you guys? Anyone out there who was planning on being at the Annapolis Sailboat Show this coming year?
Yeah.
That'd be really fun. We're trying to come up with some ideas to make it exciting.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's been almost an hour? We're almost at 8:30. That's kind of crazy. It just blew right by. Can we do some super chat thank yous?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
we did not that long ago.
Cool.
Okay, so oh no, what happened?
And then Ken Ward was asking, could you have shortened the rigging rather than add mast base? Hello from Tampa.
Yeah, we definitely could have. We'll do that in a minute.
Okay.
We definitely could have shortened the rigging. It's just a lot more work. Just every one of those stay lock fittings would have to be, redone. So that would just take me a long time. Not to mention that, I guess they could probably all be shortened the same amount, but it would just be a long process. And I'm a little concerned about reusing those stay lock fittings. I know they're reusable, but they work now. They're good. They're sealed well. I'd rather not mess with it. But taking a stay lock fitting off, cleaning it out, and reusing it takes a lot more time and energy than I initially thought. When we first reused our first stay lock fitting, it was a nightmare.
Got another good question.
Okay, well, real quick, Tula's Endless Summer just
they said they're undecided about the Annapolis Sailboat Show, but they would like to see us there. And
hopefully,
back at ya.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see you guys.
And then Scott Wise was saying he's thinking about being there, and somebody else said that they missed us this last year, so sorry about that. Frank Hyatt was asking, just curious, how much have you invested in Atticus to date? That's a really good question.
Too much.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot better at keeping records, but man, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Real quick, Tim Leary just brought up a great point. We blew through it, but the whole shortening the rig thing.
Oh, you're right.
It would affect the sails,
Yeah.
and so the boom would come down lower, which it couldn't because the boom is just barely over our hardtop as it is. And then same with the mizzen. Same with the mizzen. The boom would be a problem. So, anyway. Great point, Tim. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
And then Hugh Van Dyne says, shots again, Brad. Thanks, Des. You're going to make Brad miss tomorrow at work.
What's the drinking game word right now?
Is it not extrusion? Is there another one?
Is it extrusion? Did you say extrusion?
Just like 3 times. Extrusion, extrusion, extrusion.
Yeah. Or do you guys have another word going and I missed it? Yeah.
Cool. Let's do a couple super chat thank yous.
Okay, you just said that. There's like 3.
Yeah. Okay, we've got Rusty Comer. Comer. Sorry about that. We've got Blimp Commander. He said, looks similar to 2000. Always watching your adventures. We've got Jim Devaney. He says, thanks for all your videos, guys. They keep me daydreaming about retirement while going back and forth between Seattle and Whittier, AK on tugboats. Oh, cool. Nice.
Alaska.
Alaska, gosh, is late for me. Brad Scott says, you've got to get that hair under control before the next live stream. Cowboy hats help.
I know, this is my Boatyard haircut.
Yeah.
I need a haircut. I don't know if you can know, I had like a freaking rash from Boatyard bottom paint dust, like my eyes are all dry and like my hair is ridiculous, my beard's getting long. It's been a rough week and a half in the yard, man. Yeah.
Brad Scott, he says extrusion drink. Can you read that one?
River Oaks Art Society.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Bat5 says, spend it wisely, have a couple beers, thank you.
Thank you.
And then Trevor Evans
hey, Trevor.
says, keep up the good work, can't wait to see you back on the water, hope you get some free diving in soon before you forget how, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And then MSSR42 says, see you at the show.
Cool.
Rock on. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, so, I feel like I was going to say something, and I now. Cannot remember what it was. Here, Greg Leak asks, where did the name Atticus come from? And that's actually something that we don't talk about, but we did talk about it in our very first video.
And an unreleased trailer on Vimeo.
And an unreleased trailer because I used copyrighted music. But anyway,
it's a good trailer.
But the whole idea behind Atticus was from the book To Kill a Mockingbird, as well as the movie. I really like the movie a lot with Gregory Peck. And so the character's name is Atticus Finch, and the character's sort of MO is to try to see the world through other people's eyes, or to walk around in their shoes, as he says in the movie, and that, as well as I feel like he kind of the character embodies the idea that you really have to spend a lot of time trying to understand situations before you can help, right? You have to really take learning about the world seriously if you want to be able to help in any way. And so that was sort of the approach that we thought we wanted to take toward traveling, was the idea of trying to understand the world a little bit better by kind of seeing the world through other people's eyes and other people's situations. So that was the idea behind Atticus. It was very, what's the word? Highfalutin, is that the right phrase?
But everyone for their first boat thinks of,
not
everyone. It's
we're going to be philosopher travelers.
Right.
It's like now we just basically kill fish whenever we get the opportunity, and we just want
to not sink the boat.
Yeah, try not to sink the boat. Right. Yeah. No, and I think that it's been a huge learning experience for us. It's just something we don't talk about so much in the videos, right? I think something we were a little bit surprised about with regard to people's interest is that it's a lot geared toward the boat side of things, because it's a lot of folks that kind of see that lifestyle as something they'd like to attain. Whereas we may have gone into it originally thinking, it'll be like a travel show for people who just like watching travel shows.
Yeah, we have notes from our first couple of meetings, and I wanted the focus on us to be like a fifth of what we did, because I wasn't super comfortable with being a character in our show. So I wanted to go to different places and interview people and kind of understand their worldview and their lives. But we just started filming ourselves because we were doing the boat projects, and then before we know it, it seemed like that's what was more compelling about our stories: the journey, the challenges, the mistakes, the failures,
right?
The lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And I think that, I can speak for myself in that I think that was something that I didn't think I would like so much about it. I thought I wanted to just travel for travel's sake, but what I ended up loving about it is maybe not getting to experience cultures, but simply getting to a remote atoll, away from everything, and dodging reefs and handling storms and, having to avoid pirates, right? Like dealing with these extreme challenges and then coming out the other side and then having this very just sort of in-your-face reward of a beautiful remote place. That's kind of become the thing I like most about what we do, I think.
Yeah, I think Atticus has taught us so much about life, about our relationship, about health and well-being and finances. So we've really learned a lot and changed a lot since we bought Atticus and started our channel and named her. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, there was it's kind of funny to think about. Before we bought Atticus, we spent days, like several days at the public library in Sarasota, Florida, like writing out like mission statements and coming up with, I don't even know what. We didn't use any of it, really. But like days of planning and strategizing.
Right.
And we didn't even know what we were going to be making, what kind of videos we would do, or what success would even look like.
The kind of dorky people we are. We go and waste time in a public library talking about plans, and then rather than just...
like our branding. It's like, you should probably make a video.
Right.
Before
we storyboarded out our first video, and that took us a long time. Heidi and Franny are saying, isn't that funny? The most important thing is that the most important thing is not the most important thing.
That's great, man. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Well, guys, we need to get going. We got an early day tomorrow, and we still have to finish up dinner, get it cooked up, and shove it down these faces and pass out. But thank you so much for joining us over here. And the town that we're in right now is called Changuinola, which is, I think, really fun to say. Changuinola.
And it's spelled like Changuinola.
Changuinola, yeah. So
Changuinola.
We're in Changuinola.
We're here in Changuinola.
Hola.
With a bunch of the Panamanian people experiencing the joy of cultural immersion.
There you go. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us here in Changuinola tonight. Changuinola, as Jordan would say. Just having you guys to chat with and check in with is kind of unreal for us, and really humbling, and just really fun also. So thanks for spending an hour with us to chat, and we will see you guys in a couple of weeks, and we should have a really good episode coming out next week about our sailing race and getting to the boatyard, and then starting some projects. And for those of you who've been wondering where I've been, I will be in that this next week's coming video a lot.
Yeah. Good job. Okay.
I exist.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Cool, guys.
Oh, and last thing, Dave, thank you so much for joining us last minute. You're amazing. I don't even know what we would do without you. It'd be ugly.
Oh, and we do have a couple quick super chats to thank here.
Let's do that.
We've got, Ralph Field, thank you very much.
Oh, my gosh.
Really appreciate it, Ralph. And then Ed Kendrick, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. We are heading to the yard tomorrow. Wish us luck. Wish that it doesn't rain over the next couple days, because I really want to splash on Monday, man. I want to be a sailboat again.
Yeah.
That would be great. Anyway, all right. We'll catch you guys next time.
See you guys.